When I was thinking of concepts to put on the Essendon Guernsey for the Dreamtime game competition, it wasn't hard to find inspiration to do something. The thing that we are known for in the southwest is sort of the possum skin cloaks and things that people used to wear in the old times. So that was the sort of easy choice, because you wanted to reflect something on the jumper that meant, you know, creating one's identity and strengthening that identity to strength, you know, when the person is wearing that design, all them things that are important. My dealings with possum skin cloaks began in the early 2000s, during which time Melbourne hosted the Commonwealth Games, and they selected 36 communities to design a possum skin cloak to represent each of the language groups of Victoria, and I was selected to sort of produce the cloak. I wanted to create a map of important places to a number of people in the community and important places to me as a young person growing up in the community. So when we lay that cloak across a generic map of our area, it points to areas. So that's the importance of a cloak. It's telling a story all the time. When I designed the jumper for Essendon, it was the same thought process behind it, but I wasn't trying to recreate the cloak that I did for the Commonwealth Games. I wanted to tell a story on the cloak that celebrated southwest Victoria and its Aboriginal people. I wanted a cloak that celebrated Essendon's long association with Aboriginal people, and I wanted to tell a story as well that celebrated the connection between Marngrook and AFL football, because in the Western District it is known as the home of Marngrook. It's where the game originated. It's certainly not played the same way, but the origins are there, so I wanted to complement the two. But I wanted to create something that didn't just look good visually to people. It had to have meaning, it had to have the story behind it, because the story is the most important part. I was raised in a small country town called Hayward in southwest Victoria. People know Hayward in terms of the Essendon Football Club through Nathan LovettMurray, who played there for 10 years, who was a cousin of mine. And after that, Andrew Lovett as well, who played at Essendon. But I suppose the connection began with Norm MacDonald. And Norm MacDonald is my grandmother's first cousin. So the connection between the family and the football club, you could say, stretches back, you know, a lot further than what most people think. And that connection sort of began at Lake on Mission, you know. That's where the MacDonald name came from, and the Lovett family eventually came from Lake on Mission, and so I played a very important role. And Lake on Mission is one of the inspirations for the design of the jumper that I did. The mission can make, you know, people feel different. You ask 10 people that have come here, you probably get 10 different answers. For me, it's a holistic sort of thing. You need to feel the connection here. Even though nothing exists here anymore, you can still feel the presence of the people that were here. This is where we come, and we continue to come. We won't stop. And a lot of our elders in our community were raised here. Some were born, but all were raised. So the connection between myself and the Lake on Mission goes back a long, long time. And even though I wasn't born here, you feel you belong to it. My nan was born here. Her father was born here. His mother was brought here as a child. So my connection to this place is important. And it gives you an identity. Our identity is we belong to this area. It's one of the places where I get my inspiration to not only do my art and a creative sort of feel when I'm here, because you have no creativity unless you have the story. And without the story of this place and the people that were here before this place was here, you know, you'd have no creativity. Or the creativity wouldn't be necessarily a Gunditjmara creativity.
I'm very excited to be part of the 10-year special Guernsey for Essendon. It's the first time we've done a special Guernsey, so really excited and privileged to be able to design or help produce that. It's a little bit different to what I usually get. This time around I just traced over his design elements. Then from that I put it on my pattern, and then make some shadow lines and some gradients through that so it best you know, represents what he wanted. We try to match up, I guess, the colours as close as what he wanted, but also printing-wise, it comes out a lot different to what it is on paper. So it's a trial and error, basically. Because it's the first time we're doing an actual special Guernsey for Essendon, we really wanted to sort of bring it out a little bit more. It sort of best represents what Thomas wanted as well. So we're just playing around with the different levels of transparency and shadowing as well. A lot of time and effort went into this through not only me, but the developers at the club as well, and obviously Thomas as well. So it's good that you've got an actual product. It'll be good to see all the players and all the boys out there wearing this. So very excited.
So it was really pleasing for us at Adidas to be able to present something that we knew the club would love, that we knew consumers would love, and that really everyone involved in the process could be really proud of. In terms of its true roots, it's really going back to Thomas Day III's life and his understanding of the culture of his area, but also it still has the hero, which is the red sash on the jersey, which every player who's ever played under that jersey wears with pride. So it's a great jersey in my opinion.
It's always a proud moment to put on the red and black, but you know, being an Indigenous person myself, with the Aboriginal design on it, just makes it a special jumper. So it's one that I'm going to cherish after I finish playing in it. You know, something that our boys will be proud wearing. You know, some of the greatest footballers that have played, you know, your Indigenous players, Polly Farmer, you know, Michael Long. You know, all those sorts of guys. So it's just a proud moment for every Indigenous player, and you know, it's come a long way, and it's getting bigger and better every year. The contribution that guys like Longy and Nicky Winmar and everyone made to the game, you know, for that to be celebrated, and the boys will be pretty proud running out every week. But you know, Indigenous week, round week, you know, it's a special moment for the lot of them. You're out there representing everyone in our community, so there's guys that aren't lucky enough to play in the game, so us guys that are out there doing our best and just to make those people proud. Be an Indigenous player, to be out there, like the respects are paid to the past players and the Indigenous community as well, so us putting on the jumper and going out there is just representing the Aboriginal people as a whole.
We were envious watching Richmond come out every year, past 4 years, having their Indigenous design jerseys, and we only come out with the traditional Essendon jersey. And I thought this year we got on the front foot, but in saying that, the whole AFL got on the front foot, and everyone's into it, and we can see behind us all the little kids there with each team's Indigenous jerseys this year, and a lot of them looking actually really beautiful, and yeah, it's very good that the AFL's jumped on the front foot for that, and hopefully it continues.
we'd like to think was the strong actions of people like Michael Long and Nicky Winmar and others, and hopefully then the whole of the AFL industry has taken a very progressive position and across a whole series of areas. And I think there's the educational piece, but I also think really what we don't want to get too far away from is just celebrating the extraordinary role our Indigenous players play in our game, with their skills, their excitement. They're 9% of our playing list. So it's much about education awareness as celebrating their extraordinary role they play in our game.
Football was always known, in Australia wasn't such a nice place to be for Aboriginal people. It was known as the Great Equalizer. So football in a way became more than just a sport. It provided a relief for Aboriginal people to escape, the realities of a society that wasn't so giving. You have to remember Aboriginal people, at the time when they started playing footy, were still living on missions and things. So there was a complete divide between the two societies. So sport became that equaliser. Now it's become more than that. And you ask most kids, even my age, and we're not that young, but who our role models were growing up, and most of them would say Michael Long, Derek Kickett, Gavin Wanganeen, the historical Aboriginal footballers for the Essendon Football Club. So yeah, football has become much more than that.
G'day guys, Nick O'Brien here. Like Tubby, the Essendon players have a few hidden talents of their own. You might know us best for our skills on the footy field, but over the next few weeks, the boys will show you that they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. In my younger days, I loved my cricket. I was lucky enough to represent some state sides, Victorian under 15 and 17s, and then was lucky enough also to represent my country at under 16 level. Rightio, we're going to test it if I've still got a bit of talent left with the ball in hand. As I did as a kid, we'll use the garbage bin as the wickets. Hopefully it's a big enough target for me to hit, so let's see how we go. Certainly don't think I'll be getting a call from the selectors anytime soon, but keep tuning in the next couple of weeks to see the boys show some of their hidden talents.
I suppose the long walk started probably from a funeral I went to, probably with a close mate of mine, and you looked around and you thought, what is happening? You look at the life expectancy, you looked at, where is the future for Aboriginal people? And I suppose the walk was spontaneous, it wasn't organised, wasn't as probably people have told the story. But it wasn't about that, it was about making change. And at that time, ATSIC was being abolished. There was no vision, there was no voice, I think, for Indigenous Australia. And the government weren't engaging Aboriginal people. Where was the vision, where was the voice for Aboriginal Australia, and where was the love, most importantly? And I felt strongly about walking to Canberra, with a message with John Howard, and along the way, no doubt, the people that joined me, they felt the same, about some of the issues and the challenges they faced in their community. I suppose now the event has come alongside of the AFL with the Indigenous round for the last 6 years, and that's no doubt grown the profile, but also the alliances with myself being a past footballer and working with the AFL to raise awareness, what we're trying to achieve. And I think that's, when we look back at the 10 years, you look back what it's done. The football, and no doubt the programs that we run in classrooms, over 20,000 kids. Obviously our women's function, there's 16,000 women who come to that event. Our Walk the Talk program, it's an achievement in itself.
What the long walk means to Indigenous people, especially here in Victoria, it's just an opportunity to come together and celebrate our culture. And for myself, being able to see all my family members come up from Hayward and around Victoria, and it's just great to catch up with everyone. And also being involved in the Dreamtime, it's always been a highlight of my football career. Knowing all my family members are in the grandstands watching. It's been a lot of hard work leading up to the 10-year anniversary for the Michael Long Walk, and very excited about the concert coming up this Saturday. Really want a heap of people to come down and check out all the local Indigenous music talent. We've got Dan Sultan performing. It's going to be at the Myer Music Bowl. We've also got Casey Donovan. Radical Sun, Mau Power, we've got Aussie hip-hop artist Earthboy. We've also got the Bunjil Music Business Project performing, which was an Indigenous music mentor program that I set up, and yeah, they're going to be showcasing their music skills.
We've had 15,000 last year, and we hope to get 20,000 for our 10th anniversary. So this round is not only our 10th anniversary, but I think it's even more special now than what it ever is. And I think as the game evolves, I think so does the event, the Dreamtime at the G. Yeah, well, I mean, there's no expectation. We're always, you're always welcome, non-Indigenous people to join the walk. And what we're about, about sharing the love. And we hope that people have a deeper understanding, respect for one another, and no doubt, as part of the long walk, what we ultimately try to achieve is bringing people together. And I think coming along the walk, coming to the concert, coming to see the beautiful side of what Indigenous culture can bring, and then coming into a game, a spectacle, where a game has brought thousands of people, will have a rippling effect on this special occasion, Indigenous round. I just think, come and see it for yourself, come and experience it, because it is a wonderful weekend.
I'm here at Essendon's Captain's Run, getting up close and personal with some of the players as the football club prepares themselves for the big game day. Now, True Value Solar are giving value back to Bombers fans, offering them the chance to ask any question they like to any player. Let's hear what they have to say.
What is your ideal day?
Thanks, Celine and Cedar, for the great question. My ideal date, I'm a pretty simple-minded guy. I guess something that puts the two of us out of our comfort zone and really see what the type of person they really are.
Probably somewhere at the beach. I love the water. So get down to the beach, nice feed on the sand, I suppose, and maybe go for a surf or something like that as well.
Today we're here with an Essendon fan to see if they can earn their sash. Josh here is going to try and take a mark from my kick jumping off a tramp. You ready, Josh? Here it comes, mate. Oh, into the hands, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Here we go, Josh.
That was a bad one, mate.
Here it comes, mate. Oh, you've fallen over. Come on, mate, keep your feet. Here we go, Josh. Up.
Thanks. That was a good one, mate.
Another Essendon fan has earned their sash. If you'd like to earn yours, tell us what you're prepared to do via our hashtag. One way to earn your sash is to visit the Kia website and see the many great deals currently on offer across the entire Kia range. So visit kia.com.au and find a deal that's right for you. You can even leave the sash on if you like.
Well, my first donning of the sash was, I reckon, when I was about 7 years of age. And my mum, we were all Essendon supporters, lived in Ascot Vale, and my mum knitted me an Essendon jumper with a red sash. And that was the first time I donned the sash, and it had number 10 on it for the late, great John Coleman, who I also painted a red sash on a box that I used to take to the football at Essendon and stand on so I could see over the crowd. First playing jumper was one I just happened to have here. The nice heavy woolen one, and I was fortunate to get that in third last match of the year in 1960 when we played Carlton, and we played those 3 games, and in the semi-final we got beaten in Collingwood. But this was it, and I still managed to keep it, and I used to, you'll note, wear long sleeves then. No one would wear them now.
Huey Mitchell in there, knocks the ball along the ground towards Blue. Blue breaks away nicely, is caught with the ball, breaks away again, drives up right in front of goal. This could be interesting as Fordham goes.
Third last match of the year, I got to training, and this was after work, of course, and Jack Vosti, who was one of the selectors, came over to me and said, there's a practice match on tonight, on a Thursday night, mind you. He said, we're going to try you on Reg Burgess. If you play well, I reckon you'll be in the side. And that was the first idea I had. Then I went home hoping and listened to 3DB, league teams, and my name was read out. And that was how I found out that I was going to play a game with Essendon. I'd like to think it's a lucky number. I'd like to think that all those players have got a lot of talent too. But it goes without saying that because I was number 14, I always follow the number 14. And, you know, Jason Johnson, you know, Tony Elshaw, all great players. And I'm also very impressed with young Jason Aspey, who's got it now. And it was great to be able to send him a message this year and say, well, good luck, you've had played your first game. I hope it continues and it's the start of a great career because he's a very fine young man.
We're actually at TIO Stadium where the AFL games and our local footy's played here. So the Leadership Centre, obviously built on the side of the ground. The Leadership Centre came off the back of the idea as part of the Thunder, our football side, who plays in the NEFL League. We had a lot of players go to the AFL, but they didn't have the skills and the tools to survive in that game. So one of the things that came out of this was building our own Leadership Centre that we could actually harness those areas that we were deficient in. But this is also part of not just elite programs, this is about our focus on our remote kids, about education. We've seen the power of footy and what it's done. You only have to look at, you know, the What-I program, look at the Tiwi Bombers. You can just see the power, but how do we utilise that power to educate our kids or make them become better leaders in their own communities? Now we're going to put it in action here at the Leadership Centre. But all kids through the territory will have access. We'll have between 1,000 and 3,000 kids once we're up and going and tweaking the programs. But we want them actually to make them feel comfortable, that they are important to the next generation, what's going to happen in the future, in their own community as well as we want them to excel in all different levels. I was one of those young kids years ago. If I can give a young boy or a young girl an opportunity to make it at the highest level or get a good job or wanted to go on to look at themselves differently, you know, life's got to be further than just the end of that dirt road. You know, this is how I see how important football players are a big part of changing lives. We'll give them every opportunity we possibly can. We'll give them a smorgasbord of opportunity and we hope we can provide that through the Leadership Centre.
This has been a Fox Footy presentation.